Today is an absolutely exciting episode. We're gonna implement Stripe, the payment platform. After today, anybody can subscribe to our platform and we can receive money. This is turning our product into a real SaaS company. By the end of this video, users can choose different users here, can upgrade, can downgrade, can cancel. All of this will be possible and I show you how. Let's dive right in. Today, we're going to set up payment with our thumbnail generation app, and for the platform to handle our payments in a safe way, we chose Stripe. Stripe is one of the most commonly used platforms to handle payments amongst all SaaS programs. It has tailored products for different markets, like making sure all the data is saved in the right way in Europe versus in America or other markets, hence is also why we chose that platform. The first thing that we need to do is we need to go to the stripe.com website, and to create an account, we're gonna click on sign in, which brings us here in the login page, and then you can create an account down here and sign up for Stripe. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and then see you at the dashboard. Once you have created an account and gone through the onboarding process, you're gonna land here, which is the basic dashboard and overview of your Stripe account. You see basically the summary of how much money you made, how many payments you have received, and all of the different settings. So in the onboarding process, it already asks us a few questions about the payments that we're gonna offer, which you see down here in the step-up guide. We had already answered 2 questions. Let's just quickly click on that again. And the first question was, how do you want to bill your customers? And we're going to choose a flat subscription rate. So we go next. The next question was, how do you want to accept recurring payments? And we chose here the pre-built checkout form. It's basically, we're going to use the pre-built Stripe checkout form and integrate it into our product. So we're going to click save. And then the next step would be to create a recurring product. Let's click on that. So what is a product? A product is, for example, a subscription tier that you defined at certain price point, at certain usage limits with certain features. So in our case, with our thumbnail generator, we're going to start as the baseline always with the free tier. So we don't need to create that product in Stripe, because that is just the default. Anybody signing up to our platform will start in that free tier. So once payment comes into play is when people will upgrade to have more usage, more thumbnails to be generated, more iterations, and so on. Then they would need to upgrade. And that is when payment comes into play, and this is where Stripe would take over and handle the payment. So we need to create our first product, which is the creator plan. So we're going to give it the name creator plan. We're going to give it a short description. This is basically what people will see in the checkout phase. The amount will be €9.99 per month, and it's going to be recurring as it is a subscription. Then we want to click on more options and add some metadata. This simply because later connecting it to our products with the webhooks, I understand that it will be more easy communication between what is our code and what is the Stripe platform. We're going to add the key tier and the value creator. We're going to add thumbnails and the value 75. We're going to add the key templates and the value 15. There you go. That's it. And then we're gonna add the product. So that's our first pricing tier. We're gonna repeat that process one more time. I guess here is the link. We're gonna create a new product, and this would be studio plan. The description would be as such: 250 thumbnails per month, 50 templates, 20 iteration per thumbnail, unlimited history, API access, team collaboration, priority support. And again, this will be recurring, and the amount will be $24.99 per month. Again, we're going to click on more options, and we're going to add a little bit of metadata. We're going to say tier studio, we're gonna say thumbnails 250, and we're gonna go templates 50. There you go. Another product is set up, and we're gonna click add product. So now we can see here in our products catalog, we have basically 2 subscription tiers, 2 products created. For each product, we can also define multiple price points, for example, per month, and for a yearly subscription with a certain discount. For now, we're going to keep it simple and only have the monthly subscription plans. But later on, Stripe makes it very easy to also add, for example, a yearly subscription with a certain discount. Common practice here is about 2 months discount for a yearly subscription. Now what we need is we need the ID of each plan, because that's something we need to integrate into our code later on. So we're going to click on each studio plan, and we're going to copy here our product ID, and we're just quickly going to save it here. All right, we go back to our products. We're going to do the same with the other plan. We're going to copy our product ID to a separate document. We will need that later in Cursor. What we also need is going to be our API keys. There's a public API key and a secret API key. How to get that? You can click here on developers on the bottom left corner. You go to API keys, and here you will have all of your keys. With the 2 API keys, which is the public and the secret key, and your product IDs, you have everything to integrate that into Cursor. So let's go there right now. Back into Cursor, we're gonna start Claude. So today we're gonna implement Stripe. I have already created an account, and I've created the respective creator plan and studio plan in the Stripe dashboard. I will in the following share with you the product IDs and API keys. I think the first step is what you need to do is install the Stripe CLI package and create respective pages for our product. Before you start implementing anything, I want you to do research on the common practices and best practices, how to implement Stripe into a product. I want you to revise our code base and come up with a good plan to execute to implement Stripe flawlessly. Below you'll find the API keys of Stripe and the product IDs of the different plans. All right, now the agent will do proper web research, will investigate the most modern or up-to-date documentation, and will come up with a plan, and we'll divide it into actionable steps so we can execute everything step by step and hopefully implement Stripe flawlessly. All right, here is what the agent came up with. The app already has Supabase for authentication and database. Yes, we have done it in previous episodes. Subscription tiers defined. We did that in the last coding episode. User profiles. Yes. Usage tracking system, backend API, and front end. Yes, that's correct. Phase 1, backend setup. Install Stripe SDK. Add Stripe package to the backend. Environment variables, securely store API keys, secret key. Yes, exactly. Phase 2, webhook integration. Phase 3, front-end integration. Phase 4, testing. All right, sounds good to me. Let's start with the first step, which is installing the Stripe packages that we need and also storing the keys in the .env file. Okay, this preparation step has been done. We installed the Stripe packages in the backend and in the front end. Really good. They configured all the keys in the front end and in the back end. Can we quickly verify that Stripe initializes correctly? We can connect to the products correctly, and also the environment variables load correctly. Okay, the agent is now creating a test script to see if everything works well. Perfect. Verification is complete. Results, Stripe SDK initialized correctly. Environment variables load successful. API connection to Stripe established. Create the plan and studio plan. Perfect. That enables us to go to the next step. I believe what we need to implement step by step are the API points. the hooks, the pricing page with the upgrades options, and also a dashboard that handles success state and failure state. You already made that plan. Let's go step by step implementing the checkout process. How it's going to work when somebody clicks upgrade from the free plan to a paid plan, we redirect to Stripe. Stripe handles all the payment process in a secure manner. They are specialized on this payment process service. All your card details or your payment details will be securely handled or stored. And then once the payment has been successfully implemented, we will get a redirect URL to our success dashboard, or if the payment didn't go through, a redirect to our error handling or payment didn't go through dashboard. That is the basic concept of the checkout process or payment process using Stripe. We need to worry about 3 important events. Checkout session is completed. We need to update a subscription and we need to cancel a subscription. So these events need to be implemented into our process. Now, once somebody has checked out successfully and updated to a subscription tier, we need to get a subscription ID and add this to our Supabase database connected to a user ID, unlocking the different usage limits and tiers that we have previously created in an episode earlier. Have a look if you missed that. I will put up the link right here. Also very important, something that I hadn't mentioned yet, I quickly want to show you. Here in Stripe, we're currently in the testing sandbox, the developer sandbox. That means we are not yet live. Up here, you can switch to live account. That means everything that we do in the testing sandbox can be with mock data, fake card data, and we can just try whether everything works before we push it to live. That's also why we earlier installed the Stripe CLI, so we can do active testing before we go into live mode. All right, the agent has finished the process. Let's see what we got. I've successfully implemented the complete Stripe checkout process. Sounds good. Here's what I created. Stripe service module in the back end, Stripe initialization, create checkout session, create portal, verify webhook signature, Stripe routes, post API, webhook handlers. Like, again, I have a non-tech background. For me, this is also new land a lot of the times. I'm trying to read through this a little bit to slowly but surely get an understanding of things, but I certainly don't understand everything that is mentioned here. I have to trust AI for the most part. All right, front-end UI pricing page has been created, success page has been created, and a cancel page has been created. Before we can test, you need to set up a webhook endpoint in Stripe dashboard. We will do this together and test the checkout flow. Okay, let's test. We're starting the server, so I'll get a local host so I can open our app in the browser. The agent is starting the backend server and now the front end server, as we have those separated in the development process. Both servers are running. Now let me create a comprehensive testing guide. I'm actually very excited to try this checkout process and see how close we are in enabling payment. Open your browser. Okay, follow link. Now we can test the checkout process. So this is how our payment page looks. I think it already looks really nice. We logged into our testing account and now we can check it out. Already seeing the pricing page gets me super excited. It really shows that we are upgrading our product to a real SaaS product that people can pay for, and that's just so exciting to me. All right, let's go. We're gonna upgrade to the creator plan. We have processing. We get redirected to the Stripe sandbox, which is the testing environment. Very cool. Our email is pre-filled. Very good. So for the card payment method, we use dummy information. What is usually used is 42424242. The month and year can be anything in the future. So it can be 1234. CVC, any 3 digits, 1, 2, 3. Card holder name, example. And well, region and then pay and subscribe. And there we landed on the successful subscription page. Fantastic. And now we're getting redirected to our platform. We are logged in with test 1. Very, very good. That seems to be working flawlessly. Let's go to the next step. Okay, great. The checkout process has worked flawlessly up to now. What we need to do now is actually set up the backend and make the backend communicate with Stripe events via webhooks. And that's the next thing we do. We're gonna start Claude. We let the last agent create a summary handoff document that we find in our handoff docs folder here. I'm gonna drag it into the chat. All right, have a look at the handover document. The next step after successfully implementing the checkout phase with Stripe, we now need to generate the backend table or the adjustments that we need to do. Also, we need to create the webhooks communicating to Stripe events. Please have a look, come up with a plan, and then we start executing step by step. A quick comment why the webhooks are important is because this is the true communication between Stripe and our backend that a subscription has been successful. So the front end update and the successful payment page is obviously a good indication if something has worked, but the true signature and the true confirmation is actually via webhooks. This is connected to a private ID and just is flawless, secure communication. Next steps, database run migration file. Okay, let's go to the migrations folder and webhook events. We're gonna copy the code. Here we are back in our Supabase backend at the SQL editor. If you've seen previous episodes, you know the drill. We go to the SQL editor that we find here on the left side, and then we can just copy the code from the agent. We run the code, and then if no rows are returned, we should have set up everything great. Let's go to database and tables, and then we have webhooks events. All right, it seems to be successfully created. Let's go back to the agent. All right, the CLI is installed. We now need to log in into Stripe. So we log in into our browser. We are logged in into our browser. Just give it a quick refresh. Okay, in our test environment now, as we can see, we have the first subscription volume in there. Obviously, that's just test subscription, but that's how it would look if people start subscribing to our platform. Step 1, log into your Stripe CLI. Open your terminal and run Stripe login. Let's try that. We open and run Stripe login. What happens? The browser window will open. You will be asked to allow access to your Stripe account. Click allow access. Terminal will confirm you're logged in. Okay, let's see that. Press enter to open the browser. Okay, that worked. Right, it's gonna ask us to sign in. It redirected us to this page. Allow Stripe CLI to access your account information. Test mode. Verify the pairing code below matches the one shown in Stripe CLI command. And I will say allow access. Access granted. So we connected the Stripe CLI now with our Stripe testing environment. Okay, step 2, start webhook forwarding. In your terminal, run Stripe listen forward webhook. Let's run this command for now. Getting ready. Ready. You're using Stripe API. Your webhook signing secret is okay. This means Stripe is now forwarding webhooks to your local backend. The forwarding is already active. It happens automatically. You just need to keep this terminal window open. All right, so we're gonna keep the Stripe terminal window open. What we need to do to test the webhook flow, we're gonna go to pricing. We're gonna click upgrade. We're gonna complete the checkout with the dummy data again. Let me already copy the card just to have it quicker. Watch your terminal, the one that we have here, and see it should say webhook received. Check in the database, go to your Supabase dashboard, check the user profile table. Your subscription tier should be updated. All right, that's nice. Let's try this out. We are testing the webhooks and we have set up the listener. We have added the WSEG secret key here in the .env file that you can see here, which is within the backend folder. And now we will go to our pricing page. We will upgrade to Studio. It is processing. Okay, we have added the dummy data of the fake card again, and we will click pay and subscribe. It is processing. It worked. We are in the successful pricing, and we get redirected into our product page. Very good. Let's have a look at our Stripe listening node. Again, here, I unfortunately don't see anything. Also, just quickly gonna check the Firefox backend. And here's also nothing arrived. All right, let's keep debugging. All right, so now the webhooks have finally fired in our Stripe CLI. You can see here they all show up. The events have happened. Now, if we check the backend, also here in the user, if we look here at the Stripe customer ID, we have created a Stripe ID and a subscription ID, which means the subscription has worked. And lastly, also, if we revisit the pricing page, also here, we can see that now the indicator says current plan, I am on the studio plan. So that means the subscription and the webhooks have worked fine for now, and we can actually dedicate us to the next chapter. Now that everything is working with the Stripe, with the communication, with the webhooks, we are actually gonna test out every kind of scenario in the testing environment. What that means is that Stripe gives you different card numbers, some that work successfully, some that get canceled or have insufficient funds, and you can test all kind of different payment methods, some that work, some that don't, and see if your checkout process is acting accordingly how it's supposed to. Also, we're gonna quickly test and create a test user that is upgrading, that is canceling a subscription, that is canceling and then re-signing up to the subscription model. And we will see if all of these cases work. With our Cloud agent, we have just come out with a proper testing plan. Let's have a quick look. The testing plan for Stripe integration is verify test mode. Yeah, we are still in test mode. Verify local server, ensure the app is running on local 3000. What is the first test now? Test successful new subscription. All right, we're gonna use the card that we always have used and see if that's working. All right, let's go back here. We're gonna sign up a new user, example 2. So we entered a password and we're gonna sign up. All right, we are logged in as example number 2. We're gonna go to the free plan, which brings us to the pricing page. Very nice. And we're gonna click upgrade to creator. It's processing. We filled out the payment details. Important is with the 424242, that is the successful card number in the testing mode from Stripe. Stripe also gives other card numbers that we will try after that are not successful in the payment process to check those edge cases. However, you put dummy information, a future date here, any 3-digit CVC, and then we pay and subscribe. It's processing. We get a check mark here. We are redirected to the successful subscription page, which then redirects us to our main page. And look at that. We have now subscribed to the creator plan. The badge is indicating that our usage has upgraded. Very nice. So case number 1, upgrade works. Test case number 2, we're gonna log out, create a new free account. We go to pricing again, and now we use a different card number. Expected error message displayed, stays on checkout page, can retry without working card. Okay, we're gonna click on upgrade creator, get redirected to the test mode payment page. This time, the only difference is that we use this different card number that is given by Stripe as well, which should give us an error. Let's say paste, it's processing, and the credit card was declined. Try again with a debit card instead. I think that worked also. Another credit card, which should give us another error, this time with the 9995 in the end. Let's say pay and subscribe. Your credit card was declined because of insufficient funds. Try paying with a debit card as well. Okay, so one was declined. Now we had insufficient funds. Perfect. This time we use that card. Some sort of 3D validation issue should appear here. Yeah, 3D test page. This 3D secure authentication for transaction vibe with a complete. Okay, that also worked then. And we managed to upgrade. Nice. Let's go back. That was test number 4, 3D secure authentication. We did that. Now upgrade plan from creator to studio. Let's try to upgrade. So we go back. We are currently on the creator plan. We click here and we are currently on the creator plan, which it shows quite nicely. And we want to upgrade to the studio. Let's try that. We click upgrade. We put again the functioning card 424242. We pay and subscribe, and it is processing, and it worked. Subscription successful. Now we get the redirect, and look at that. We upgraded to the studio plan, and the usage is updated. Fantastic. That works very smoothly. Test number 6, we go to the studio plan. We're gonna look at manage subscription at the customer portal. We see that we are currently on the 24 studio plan. We were before on the creator plan. We see the payment methods and we see our invoice history. Very nice. That seems to work. We're gonna cancel the subscription, cancel subscription. We can cancel, no longer need it. All right, great, cancels here. Let's go back. And now I see here that my subscription will end on December 5. Very nice. That all works very good. So we're testing the renew subscription. That worked. So now I seem to have an active subscription. My next billing day, I go back. And I am back on the studio plan. Very nice. So cancel subscription and re-subscribe. That seems to work. Also, how about I manage my subscription and I wanna add a payment method. 39, 1 to 3. Okay, add. Okay, great. We added a payment method and it's the default method. So that works really well. I can also make another one, the default, so I can change different payment methods. That also seems to work great. Back to the pricing page. We go back to our dashboard. We're still on the studio plan. Let's quickly see if the usage tracking works. We have all 250 thumbnails that are free to create. Create me a thumbnail for an end-to-end automation. End-to-end automation. Whisperflow always gets that wrong. Anyways, this is an end-to-end automation funky picture, but it doesn't matter. It should have been end-to-end. But what's more important is we have the usage tracking that we did one of 250. All right, guys, we have done extensive testing. We tested all the different scenarios. I think we can upgrade, downgrade, cancel, upgrade payment. So far, so good, but let's put this live and we can get real subscribers that pay. This is the switch to live account. We're gonna press that and we are live. All right, you just saw us implement Stripe based on different user tiers that we have previously implemented in the episode before. We have the creator tier, the studio tier, different usage limits. You can upgrade, downgrade. It's all very exciting and our product has become a real SaaS company. In the next episode, we're gonna create a admin dashboard, a separate login, a dashboard for me as the admin to see how many payments going through, how many subscribers we have, and everything that's relevant that I need to know for my business. Everything from the start of this product to today, we have been coding in public with Cursor, with AI, no previous coding experience required, and we are getting to the end line where we can put this project live, and this is becoming a real product. I'm super excited. If you guys are excited, please leave a comment and subscribe.